how does that compare to Kali Linux? Like they're both free, right? I believe.
Actually, the EOS IO software is only supported on these two Ubuntu versions.
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, I'll I'll try to get that. And then once I have that, you're saying I can get the scatter wallet.
No, actually, you can directly interact using Celios command line interface of the EOS. That's the best way for you because you are a programmer guy, and that's the the most secure way.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Right, right. See, so when you download, so let's say I have Ubuntu, the next thing, where do you actually get the EOS command line? Like, are you connecting through some kind of
Actually,
telnet or?
actually, you go to the EOS GitHub repository, and you can clone it and install it.
Okay, okay, so just pull it down. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that what Nathan James bypassed to make it more user friendly? Because basically, talking about the command line to do all this kind of stuff, and that's what scatter kind of filters through, right, Jax?
Yeah, that's correct. They're just giving it a front end.
Okay.
Yeah, command line. I always like the command line for Git for all kinds of stuff. I use command line, so that'll be good for me.
Is there that command line is in the GrayMass wallet, Jax?
Yeah, it's in the backend. It's they are actually using the API for interacting with the blockchain, and similar way the command line is interacting with the blockchain.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the same.
basically
They have it in the backend.
you hit a button on the website and it's just executing effectively the same thing that one sentence, one line in the command line would have.
Interesting. Yeah.
So
Awesome.
that's you said what was that wallet called? Something I forgot what it was called. The gas wallet or
Gray mask.
Gray Mask. Okay.
Oh, you're talking to me, GrayMass. Yes, GrayMass wallet.
Okay, gotcha. What is the benefit of that one? Like, what is are you just saying it has a good UI or?
I think it's just so user friendly for me. It shows all of the airdrops. You could buy RAM and sell RAM. You could send and receive all the airdrops. You could stake,
I see.
and it holds all the wallets. It has, let's see, the toolkit. You can manage wallets, permissions, smart contracts, utilities, create account, key generator. There's a lot of different functions in it. And I like what's the other one? The Generios toolkit. That has the staking, and that was the first one I got after Scatter.
Oh, okay.
That's the first tool. Exactly.
Oh, wow.
It is improving every day.
What's so cool about EOS is, with Ethereum, you had to move tokens from wallet to wallet, but with EOS, you just go from, I guess a door to door, really, because like GrayMass, you can go to GrayMass or Toolkit or Meet One or Links or whatever and access your tokens. You never have to move them, and they're in they're everywhere. They're on the blockchain.
Yeah, exactly. They are on the blockchain. You are just changing the ownership of the assets
It's awesome.
on the blockchain.
And I just think it makes it so much easier than Ethereum, doesn't it?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, maybe you could send me a couple of links in the chat we have here, the Skype chat, just of the ones, maybe the top 5 you recommend, and I'll just play with them because I want to learn, That'll be really cool. And so
I
yeah,
can
so
give
on
you a short introduction of the back-end working of the EOS IO.
Yeah.
Okay. There are actually 3 things. One is the interface for interacting with the blockchain. and one is the Node EOS, which is producing the blocks, and one is the for the KEOSD, that's for managing your private keys and all type of keys. So this scatter or any of these tools, they are actually for managing your keys and interacting with the blockchain using the API. They are actually interacting with the Node EOS, the 21 block producers. They are the 21 block producers. They are actually running the Node EOS on their server. And when we interact with them, we just give the server address and port address to push to read and write on the blockchain using our keys as an
Okay.
authenticator. That's the back end of all these tools. And
Sorry, I think you're cutting out a little bit.
Yeah.
okay. Now, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's the back end of all these tools and everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
can you repeat the back end part? I think we lost you for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds.
Okay. There are two things. One is the Node EOS, the block producers. The 21 block producers are running that on their server, and they have put an API for interacting with them on with the port number. Okay. And one is the KEOSD. That part is for managing your private keys. That's the wallet. And that wallet is just have to manage your keys for signing any transaction. And one is the interactive API, or you can say CLI, Cilios, or API. Two things, Cilios and API. These two are used for interacting with the blockchain, or you can say the interacting with the node EOS. So your private keys have no direct interaction with the blockchain keys, with the blockchain. So that's also a good change, good update in this cryptocurrency. It saves from the hackers. That no one can that your keys never interact with the blockchain directly. The keys interact with the CLI or API, and the API interacts with the blockchain.
Hmm. Right. And okay, so you only get your private key one time, right? Or does the user never see their private key?
User, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, you use it. Well, it seems like you only use it one time, unless I did have to use it again when I went to mobile. I had to do it, enter it into the mobile phone. But once on the desktop, just into scatter that one time is the only time I really put my private key anywhere. Unless you change the permissions, and I had trouble with that, Jax. You know, I can't get my permissions right if I unless they're both the same for owner and active. And I know that's not really safe to do that way, is it?
Yeah, that's true. If you change your permission or private keys, if let's say you change your active key, then you will have to either create a new identity on your tools, on your wallets with that key.
Oh, okay. So if I change the active, because I don't want the owner and the active the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I change the active, and then after I change the active, I have to create a identity because that's a new key pair.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay. I couldn't put two and two together. Thank you. All right. Kevin, I just sent you a link to Gray Mass.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out, for sure. Yeah, I mean, keep sending me, I mean, at least right now, just the ones we've been talking about will be really good. And then in the future, we can always add to it. But right now, just something to get me started with my own wallets. And I guess the related question to that was, is Linux just in general better to set up these wallets on? Or, I mean, Windows is fine, mobile is fine, it sounds like. So it just sounds like whatever client you have doesn't matter too much to connect to the blockchain, but, what is your preference for you guys?
In my preference, I will recommend you should use CLI because you are familiar with that, and that's the best, most secure way.
Okay.
What is that? This command line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what about you, Mike? Do you have like a Windows machine, or are you like Linux guy?
No, I have the Windows, and the scatter wallet had to go through Chrome.
Okay, gotcha. And so I'm setting up the server right now, like the one we're actually going to have in production with our site, website at least. So we need to. The way I understand it is we're going to set up like the casino account, which is I guess Leaf's account here, and
I have created that account.
okay. So how would we put that into the server that we have, or I guess we don't even need to because it's just an account on the blockchain. We don't have to move it anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to move that. That account is just for holding our smart contract. That account is just
I see.
like a server hosting for our
I
smart
see.
contract.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we don't actually need a wallet, right, on our server.
No,
Okay.
No.
we just need the scatter API to interact with our smart contract.
Yeah, gotcha. And okay, and the other thing is when we deploy our smart contract, that website you were showing me, I think it was EOS Spark or EOS Flare, I'm not sure which one, but you can see there's an option to see the code of the smart contract. Is that, will people be able to see our smart contract code?
Yeah, it's EOS Spark, and you can. That's not actually the code. That is just the front end of our smart contract.
The publicly available part, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And so so is there never a way that people can see the back end, the more private logic?
No.
Oh wow. So it's not actually in the blockchain. Maybe or maybe it is in the blockchain, but we can't see it, or do you know how that is exactly?
Yeah, it is in hexadecimal like code. If you get it, if you even try to get it, it gives you a line of hexadecimal codes.
Okay, so it gives you like a shot, like almost like a hashed version of your code.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So, but everything that's accessible by future smart contracts or other developers, um, they can just see it
API.
public. Okay, yeah.
So the footprint is there, but what makes you unique is hidden? Is that what's
It
going on
sounds
there?
like the private logic, like like maybe where to send things. I'm not sure about this. We'll go in the private stuff, but the public one is like the spin functionality. If someone wants to, I don't know, maybe Jack's better better for this one actually.
Actually, let's say take the example of EOSIO.token contract. If the tools, the producers or the developer of the tools, these two gray mouse, they would how would they know that how to interact with that contract? They know that they get to know that using the publicly API interface that defines that how in which way you can interact with our contract.